Yo, hold up. Check this one out. This sound is crazy. Check the bass line out.
Have a seat and tap your feet. New hit from Hammer. Who say move me and eat smell for me? Shelly Simujre and yes, I tell you never. We're tears a search a grab. Never drop in time for such a chain when I think you bury me and yes, you do me and now do you do. You see move, boom, now see me be sempre move. So the winner no. BT at the from sample and so ya waho. A woman think a science to you. We not doing the second. 100 of a nice trip I out that yard so hip Monza alampai Caesar alampai Monza alampai Caesar alampai Monza alampai Caesar alampai Monza alampai Caesar alampai Yada huku josa konu begujama wapo party papa and your boy wa won sade me maudreni amani hunu diasa na diake chena doso akwendi so si oba wa dog up chene ni vitase esa oba wo ba chele na na ware oba sade akofie ko pega repeat na ni areka oba kwasa bobo na tutu wo sase de okochi akoto a high sign kokomoti omopo yo who ha I got you all in tech oba sine dia don't yet I you know nigga it's down the wreck. They call it say your body say go say what you would do. What's the day? My apartment current. And you what? BT a tough. What say that I down your prof. Now what's how we smell off? Enough. I need a
About Ben and I'm quite so bay. Not man, you know, Russian. About Ben, I'm a fair journey. About Ben, yeah. About Ben, about for Ben, yeah. Hey, what's your man, fifth person? Me about for Ben, yeah. Hey, when you're and one day, cool me about for Ben, yeah. Hey, what's your man, fifth person? Me about for Ben, yeah. Hey, when you're and one day, cool me. So when I'm more quite swap, baby, be a Canadian. About war and a torso. So be a wanting so about 150. And when you know what's up, 18 hours day. See how we can go. Now so when you want to renew. When I'm missing in our dream. A pair of African penny girl like dream. About for being here. Hey, what's your man fifth person? Me about for being here. Hey, when you're and one day cool me about for being here. Hey, what's your man fifth person? Me about for being here. Hey, when you're and one day cool me. About you way me so be a home pay me the beer burn on the pretty my police on the side. If you send me so about what is send at the send. I'll be beach on some chain. Now New York, we're free New York, baby. And I'm a taste of about the dog fresh. And where you so free London, do fear, but I taste it. Oh, what's niche? What kind of girl was she cool and crisp? Pretty girl, I want she got me in a big fix. I bet about the girl, and she have the sweetness. Okay, from a frame, mommy. Oh, about for being here. What's your man fifth person? Me about for being here. When you're and one day cool me about for being here. What's your man fifth person? Me about for being here. When you're and one day cool me.
Next door, we're up here. Remember that? When I'm in your middle, I'm back across the right. No one fess about fret. Oh, get no one, the baby, I'm from Sesame. But yeah, my let's sit back. Got a baby who need to for me. I say, I know that. My baby, on your come on. And baby, and maybe I'm a boss. So, the kind of what's the man. I do what you know. I gave a promise and I hold my truck. I got me the dino, I try. I got to block my
Fela. And you love these songs, but you probably did not know the engineers, the people, the technical people behind these songs. And well, today we are privileged to have this. Man, I call these guys wizards, in the place, David and Rush. And you've known the name to be DKB. Well, they were in DKB Studios and put out all these magical works. You could talk about Swafo, they did Sugar Daddy, the song just played, the whole album, as a matter of fact, not just the song. Obrafo's Mame, my favorite all-time Obrafo song. They did 6 tracks on that album. Welcome to Hits 103.0. I know this is your home, but officially on Success Story today.
Thanks, Victor. It's
Man,
good to be
Thanks.
here.
Yeah.
It's a DKB thing.
It's a DKB thing, man. But congratulations first of all. I mean, how did you put all these together?
It's. I'm actually wondering that when I hear it back to back.
Yeah.
You're trying to remember. Did I do that song? And then you say, yeah, I actually did. And then, no, it's a good feeling,
Right.
Especially when something is almost 20 years old, and you drop it, and it still sounds fresh. It still sounds clean, and it's something that we're proud of. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Rush, whilst
Yes,
playing
yes.
these songs, I realized your eyes were closed. What was going through your mind at the time?
It's just giving me some, memories that back in the day, how we were working, we were actually selfless, doing all these things. Like we are into the music. We feeling what we're doing. We love what we're doing. We ain't looking at money or anything. It's the passion for it, and it feels very, very amazing when you can hear all the songs being played again, and it feels good. Yeah.
The purpose of this segment is actually to motivate people, to get people to wake up. There are people who are doing stuff and they feel they haven't been paid yet. They feel money hasn't come yet, and they're asking themselves, "Are we ever going to be successful?" So that's the purpose of this.
Okay.
Let's start it off this way. How did you guys meet? Because I think you're a fantastic pair.
Wow, that's a long story. We have to go way back to
Right, let's take it back.
1992.
Wow.
We were both, in fact, we were both teenagers still.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And what happened is I had been into music since I was like 15 or 16. I'd always had a home studio and so on. And in 92, there was, I think, Pafam. There was a big show where we had Public Enemy
Right.
coming down, and I think was it Isaac Hayes, Dionne Warwick, and so on. They were all coming down to perform at Independence Square,
Right.
and I had recorded most of my first album at that point. I think I was 19. I was 19
Okay.
at that point, and I needed some backing dancers to perform on stage with.
Okay.
So I ended up at a jazz bar. There used to be this jazz bar called Jimmy's in Tesano.
Right.
Jimmy is an excellent saxophonist, and he plays the clarinet and all that. He's one of the best
Which
jazz.
side of Tesano for those that live?
What's the name of that place? It's a place that always floods. Tesano.
It's called Jimmy's Bar.
Yeah, it was Jimmy's bar. It's not there anymore, but
Okay.
it's quite close to the CMB CMB flats.
Right.
Around
Yeah.
that area. So I walked in there and I told Jimmy that I'm looking for some dancers, and he said, "Oh, okay, hold on, there's someone coming over." And then this fine lady walks in and introduces herself and says, "Yeah, she was quite arrogant and all that." And then said, "I'm looking for a dance. Okay, how much money do you have?" I said, "I don't have money." So we ended up talking, ended up at some nightclub around Avenue that evening, and God, we ended up clubbing until I think 5 the next morning.
Whoa.
And then I ended up marrying her.
What a story. What a
So
story.
the thing was, she was actually the head of the dance group,
Oh.
and Rush is her brother. And he was also one of the members of the dance group. They were Tema-based. What was the name of the group?
It's New Faces.
Faces.
New
yeah,
faces, right?
So she used to dance with Reggie Rockstone,
Okay.
Slim Basta, all those
Right.
guys back in the day. And then Rush was also part of that group.
Rush, we be dance how you tell me.
People don't know.
Serious dancer.
Yeah.
Serious dancer.
Gee.
People don't know.
Rush today. Rush for sure some moves. You know.
Some break dancing.
Yeah.
Don't bring it back.
We'll get
He's
into
not as
that.
young as he was.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So that's how it was, and we had a very good show. At Independence Square went off so well, and then we basically started. We're also into IT.
Oh,
And Rush also had an IT background with hardware. So at that time, I had a computer school. So, everything sort of worked out nicely. We were
together,
both
right?
into the music, the performing, and then the IT. So it was like we were, every aspect of our life we were compatible.
okay, right.
And it helped that he was my brother-in-law as well. So,
Charlie, this is a beautiful story. So, I mean, it means that when you met, okay, he had a dance background, and he had the computer thing. At what point or whose idea was it that let's get into music production?
Okay. Already before all these things were happening,
Right.
We used to have a studio in the house, like a 4-track
Studio.
But back in the days, it was like a cassette. David just brought them from London, and he's got this amazing big keyboard. It was already programming at that time, So we have this Atari.
yeah,
Was it
the
Atari? Yeah.
right.
ST,
Yeah. So we were already doing that, but we weren't doing it.
Hey, for those who don't know what Atari is, it's actually a music programming and production software.
Yeah.
One of the first, that came into the scene.
And it's so amazing how David can turn, just a 4-track recording, this thing into some fat sound, and that's what we're dancing to. So I start getting an idea, because actually, if you have an IT background, because I was doing telephone program at that time, I was doing PABX programming and stuff. So I was like more into it, and I was so interested about what it was doing. I was like, no, I love music, because my mom used to dance, my dad played the saxophone. I was like, no, this is something so close to me, so I'm just gonna push myself and learn to the highest level. Yeah.
So that's how it all started.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get into 17 and the 1 million, part. I'm so interested in that. But before we get into that, right? So you started, doing music together.
Yes.
Yeah.
How did you meet all these guys?
Okay. First of all, let me. We started with Felix Owusu.
Oh,
We producers, executive. We were the executive producer. We actually invest money into his talent.
okay.
Yeah, so that was our first, because at that time where they was working, at that age was still working.
Right.
How
how the 1 million come?
the 1 million has already come already. That was
Okay.
So we were doing that. So that's
Okay.
where the interest. And when we start into production, by that time we've got that studio in the house. So David keep pushing, buy more equipment and stuff like that. Moved to London, and then that's where we start buying equipment. David start putting his studios together and stuff before I joined him.
Right. So, so Felix Owusu's bit was more of executive production.
Yes.
So now let's talk about production as in technical production.
Okay.
Okay. Well, that was, as you said, we moved back to the UK for a little bit. My background is that my mum is Ghanaian, my dad's Scottish.
Right.
So I was born in London and grew up there, and then came to Ghana when I was 17. And then at some point I went back for a couple of years because I also had a business over there to take care of. And the music thing, once it's in you, it can never leave. So no matter what you do, you always find that you're drawn back to music. So the first thing I did after settling back in the UK was set up another studio. So we actually set up a studio in Hackney, which is like central London.
Right.
And then we set it up in a place called the Ark, which is the African Repatriation Community, which is basically a center for Rastafarians who were planning to come back to it. So
Right.
you can imagine it was very foggy there, and
Yeah.
all sorts of things going on.
Can imagine.
Cloudy. So we set up the studio there, and then we got to work with some really great reggae artists. I don't know if you've heard of Aswad.
Aswad, yeah, of course.
Aswad,
Yeah.
Trevor
amazing.
Walters was
Oh.
another Lovers Rock. Carol Thompson, Glamour Kid. He was another.
Glamour Kid?
Yeah. So,
Wow.
so we were working with all these guys and their producers, and learning a lot.
Right.
Because over there they had established the music industry, so there were tried and tested principles.
Right.
So we decided to basically go along with them, learn with them, and then it gave us that. That's kind of why we still have that reggae vibe. If you listen
vibe.
to even the stuff I'm doing today,
Yeah.
And if you listen to what even
There's
those
always
times,
that
there's
reggae vibe,
feel
yeah.
in there.
Listen
So,
to Abreu Nana,
yeah.
that, right?
Yeah. So the first major project we took on was Pricky Adi,
Right.
Obafefe.
Bafefe, yes.
So we actually flew him to London, and he was working with the same producer as Glamour Kid.
Right.
So that whole album was actually produced by Glamour Kid's producer alongside with us.
Right.
So that's how we ended up with such a great,
Sound and
powerful
very
sound,
powerful.
Yeah.
Our speakers couldn't handle it at the time.
Exactly.
Yeah. So let's get a little technical when it comes to that production. I mean, since you mentioned Glamour Kid and you mentioned other producers, what kind of setup were you playing with at the time?
my
Oh,
God.
it was a lot. I mean, we invested over $100,000 at the time into
Wow.
the equipment. So it was a top class.
So what was it? What was it? Pro Tools?
No, this
Or
was
still,
before Pro Tools came
So
out.
still that Atari vibe.
Yeah.
Pro Tools,
Okay.
No, it wasn't Atari.
That
It
time,
was-
wasn't Atari. We
was
had
Cubase.
just come out with a Cubase,
And-
and then there was something called Paris, and Sonic
Okay.
Paris. So
Right,
it was just
right.
around that time that Pro Tools was now beginning to emerge.
In between time, there was this software. I don't know if you ever came across the Cakewalk. Did you ever?
we used it.
yeah.
Yeah, but the problem
Okay.
with Cakewalk, it couldn't keep timing.
Yeah.
So it will skip timing and skip beats and things. So we tried it for a bit and said no.
I think that's why they discontinued it,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
I think
didn't
they.
make it.
So
Oh,
Paris was the ish.
right.
Paris on top of the world. I've never used anything like that before, and it's something that makes the work very. It's very very warm when you're working with it and stuff like that. A lot of people didn't know much about it because, that's what we use for Pricky's whole album.
Right. So I mean, let's still maintain the technical vibe, because I know there are a lot of wannabe sound engineers, music producers in tune at the moment and here to learn something. Do softwares really make a difference when it comes to music production? With regard sound output and things like that.
They certainly do, yeah. I mean, there's something called the DAW, which is your Cubase, your Fruity Loops, your Pro Tools, Ableton Live. And they all have slightly different characteristics. So when you're using them, and you end up with a mix, if you're very sharp, you can say that, okay, this was mixed on Pro Tools. This was
Yeah.
mixed on Ableton.
Yeah.
This was on Logic.
This is on
because
Cubase.
They all have characteristics. Even though you're using the same plugins, the fact that there's something called audio summing, which is basically when you stack one track on top of another, the sounds all merge together, and then it's computed. Right now it's all digital, so it's
Yeah.
all processing power. So each DAW has a slightly different way that they do things, and it comes out in the final sound. So it's easy to tell if you've used them, you can tell exactly where it comes from. Yeah.
Right. So in case you just joined us, we're actually on to the success story. This is where you get motivated, you get inspired, and we have two kingpins when it comes to music production in Ghana in the place. We're talking about Rush. We're talking about DKB Studios, man. David and Rush in the place right now. Now, let's talk about the song or the project that gave you a breakthrough.
Oh my God.
For that period.
What is
I think for me it was Exdo.
XDO?
Yeah, that track.
Google.
Yeah. That was a track for me that I remember. I went to Kumasi.
Right.
I think we're taking Pricky.
Yeah, to a show.
Promotional.
Was it Agro?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then as I was coming back, that time I used a Ford bus. I was coming back. It was playing almost everywhere on the bus when we got down at the station, and I realized, oh, wow, this song is, and it was a song that I didn't take seriously.
Oh,
Me personally, I don't like sampling,
right.
right? And that particular track was sampled from I always forget the name.
These two groups. Nice and smooth.
Nas.
Nice and
Nas.
smooth.
Mark remembers. Mark will know.
It's some.
The sample.
Google, where was the sample from again?
No way. Hey, out.
The original sample. I forget the track. Is it something Beatles or something?
Yeah. Beat nuts.
Beat nuts.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Exto
Yeah.
brought it, and it's like, I want you to play this. I said, no, I don't like doing sampling. So I played it, and then I added the horns. So if you hear, there's the da 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 da.
Yeah.
That's not on the original song.
Right.
So it's from that, so we changed it a bit, and then, so I didn't really take it that seriously, but then the song just blew up. And then shortly after that, we dropped Pricky's Obafefefe, and that was even bigger.
That was bigger.
You know, that was the thing. And then
VIP,
from there, VIP. came
Mensa, if you don't know.
Yeah.
So it started rolling on. Everybody wanted to work with us, at that time. So it got to the point where we literally got burnt out because it was just the two of us doing all the work. So we were actually running shifts. So we were running 24 hours straight.
Yeah, two of us,
And it got to a point where sometimes I'll just run away from the studio. I tell Rash, look, I'm getting out of here because I can't stand the pressure.
By the time you wake up in the morning, the whole gate is full of people.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, we had KK Fosu living with us.
KK Fosu was living with us.
He was sleeping
Lots
in the
of them.
garage for like 9 months.
Yeah, whilst we're working on his album, the pressure was there.
It was a really exciting time.
Yeah.
Really exciting time, yeah.
Right. So that must have been a very, very exciting time for you, as you put it, because as you said, Exo's song, for example, you didn't think it was going to be a big deal. What do you think makes a song a hit? Because I'm not sure you expected it to blow up.
Oh, irrespective of that, we were serious at it. He was saying, I know the way David played, irrespective of the fact that he tried to do the right thing as well.
Yeah.
Though he might not have, weren't thinking that it was going to be that big, but the quality and time that we put into that album, because Exto, we recorded about 4 tracks for him. Yeah, and you can see the quality. I mean, what we really based our works on is quality.
Yeah.
And trying to compete with the rest of the other work. So we were concentrating on the quality.
On that.
Because David would never sample songs. If you come, he will tell you, I can't do that.
Yeah.
But still, that
Always
was a song.
original.
Yeah.
And what we always used to do is we would reference our tracks not with Ghanaian music, but we reference it with the top out of the States. I used to use a lot
Tony
of
Braxton.
Tony Braxton and Teddy Riley's
Riley,
work and all that sort of thing to try and get to match.
So for the student of music production, mastering sounds, when you say referencing, what
so
exactly
basically
do
what
you
you're
mean?
doing is you take a similar type of song in the same genre, right? So if it's a reggae song, you take another reggae song that is a hit that everybody knows, and that sets the standard. So for me, Michael Jackson was always a big thing for me. So looking at his big production and the way from Quincy Jones to Teddy Riley and so on, and the way that they would mix the work and the elements that make up the music and the way that it interplays with the vocals and all of that. So you listen to that track, compare it to what you have, and basically measure up. So you're referencing, if you play this track and you drop your own track right after it, is it going to sound like it fits, or are they going to say no, it doesn't meet it? So that was it. So you always reference other hit tracks and make sure that you meet that standard.
Right. Let's get into this production, which I said is my all-time favorite Obrafa song.
Ghana, my bedroom.
paba. Baba da yedi, and I mean who be that. Me dream one, me who dear minka, and papa be and me yet, why am I me wo me yase, me mo frase, wouldn't to boise, a home brasse, and yame huntiase, daddy bissine, intimate me take my bepe, one casmida was it, and she ran come within, Yami Mama holding me, I mean, why mamma and I meant to not bedding, what to tell me when Yami so console, or that way in the Dacha manager, a promise to a bring Yami Tidal, oh, Yanko Pong. On a boss, Sonny assassin in Yankon, and now bomb your ping pong. Yeah, Mr. Winnie says, Shami, my minimum print. I want to find out what I saw and yet 10 and ya Mama was sitting there. Super in every mammy, I am part my main camp, me who I didn't shanima, into a cocket so cry, ya or not, and can't me yaria, untimini obwada, or the I am share, who be pray, ye me come up dear, because he said, I me home bet on me, only any year, best year, or do more fair dear, a shrap up na brand here, mammy Jimmy so they saw this year, when you find a bay, mammy Kwan a bay, between you, Bonia, and Fedia, why, I was so me crap to what me who knew so, having quite a bonnie, some one for me home before, one mammy knew so, Ukraine, me who said, what bring me home, papa, or your bar him, I mean to me if I want to cha-cha, I said, then I will fata, mama, it's a pata. Mommy was sitting here, me akwada and in can be any just a mammy mother pa. Me say on yasasa, will soon be brames for Hannah and I do any penny nada. Mammy the dead, me mammy rain for woodda. Oh, your batampa, who saw me in Sako school, who shame me in crime, me and the mammy Doctor Who. If I want him before, wish I me yamia wawa to bring a brema shemi shoe. Wish I me at the mammy who your first Scooby Doo. Or yana place here where you will be singing up family. Or the metro will go, or say what I didn't have the time in chain. Now, what the Casapa baby Sammy Sakwabna and never want to sing. Mama Enku see that bang, or Brafo say I dang. Me need be becoming my wife, Pony Akaba, and I may say my samba. The Warish Musa and Yamia Roma, a baby, and see and Papa. Mommy was sitting there.
And I'm sure you're like, oh, so they're behind this song. Yes, they're behind this song. Amazing composition, great vibe. Now, let's talk briefly about this song. I mean, see,
yeah.
it's when it comes to instrumentation, yeah, I can put this on repeat and listen all day. It's so peaceful, the selection of, instruments and everything. How did this come about?
This song, actually, I consider this one of my worst mixes.
Really?
Seriously, yeah, because it's quite harsh. There's a history behind it. Yeah, there's a history behind it because, see, Mark agrees with me. What happened is I wrote this song I actually wrote it in London. I think
Right.
back in '96.
Right.
95, 96, and recorded it. And it was originally a song I wrote called All Through December.
Right.
Right. So I recorded it. It was part of my first album.
Okay.
And then it was sitting there.
Obrafo was not in the picture.
No. Obrafo came. Obrafo first heard this, I think, 2001, wasn't it? Around that time.
This one is
Yeah,
2000.
I think 2000. So I was playing him some of my stuff, and then he heard this song. He said he loves this song. I should give him this beat. I said, no, it's my song. I've already recorded it. So he said, please. I said, okay, fine. What do you want to do with it? He said he wants to do a song about his mother. I said, why do you want to take my song? Because the song All Through December, it's quite. I won't say a profane song, but it's very raunchy.
Right.
It's
Right.
about meeting somebody, and it's supposed to be a one-night stand, and you end up falling in love and all that kind of thing. But so I said, okay, fine. So we only had. I didn't have the original programming for it,
Oh.
so I had to basically do a lot of cutting and pasting from the original track. So that's why you can hear there are like some joins where it jumps. You see, and people thought that was a drum roll, but it's not. It's just the join. So that track was already mixed.
Okay.
And because we had to then take the elements out of it, and then fuse in Obrafo's voice,
Right.
and then putting the other vocals on top of it, I never got the mix sounding good.
The way you want,
see?
okay,
I
right.
never got it sounding good. So I was never happy with the final sound of this track, but
It
it ended up
happens.
being one of his biggest.
Exactly.
one of his
It
biggest
happens.
tracks,
That's why I was asking that. What really makes a hit? Because here we are, you're actually looking at fine tuning this and making it sound all smooth. And well, you didn't get to do that. You put it out, but it became the biggest. I mean, when it comes to Mother's Day, this song would be played a million times.
Yeah. Exactly. So it just goes to show you that music is so unpredictable, and it's about the emotions that it evokes in the listener.
Right.
You sort of thing. So it's not always about being the cleanest recording, the best production. It's about the how it hits you. That's
vibe
what's
it comes
important.
with.
Yeah.
Charlie, in case you just tuned in, man, we are talking music, we are talking decibels, we are talking threshold, we are talking compression. Yeah, that's what we are doing here. We are talking about tracking. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have, connoisseurs when it comes to the game of music production up in the place. They've done it. They've seen it. They've done it all. They've produced hits. I mean, I know a lot of music producers who are, but have never even been able to make a hit. I mean, they've made huge hits. Now, how many musicians did you guys work with? I mean, I've played a number of the songs you've. Do you recount the number of musicians you've worked with?
Rush will remember those things.
I can remember.
Right.
But just forgive me if I
You
miss a
skip
name
any,
or something. Yeah. We got guys like Mensa,
Yeah.
Exto, Abrewanana, Obrafo, Yogi Doggy, Esianfo, VIP, Tic Tac, Uforian Ponsan, Kofi B. The lists are too many. I wish I could remember. What I do sometimes is when I sit down, they keep coming. Sometimes they come and I can remember them. Yeah. And actually, back in the days, they have a group called So Black, which you didn't even So Black,
So
R&B,
Black,
and
yeah.
then King's Jubilee. They're from Liberia.
Yeah.
We actually have a group that came from this French country. They came to stay in our house for 2 weeks. There are like about 40 of them. You remember?
Yeah, plenty.
Yeah.
Africa Wu-Tang Clan.
Yeah, because they moved to Accra to come and record the whole songs before
Right.
because they were coming like with choir and stuff like that. So we recorded a lot of people, loads of people.
Who was the other one? The Night Train guy. The guy that always used to come with a bottle of Night Train and finish it before he left.
Oh my God, I've forgotten these guys. Is it Eric? He comes with Eric and then Enoch.
What's the song? There's a.
Nanaya Redu.
Oh, Nanaya.
Baby. Yeah, we did. Yeah. Oh my God. And then we did. Yeah. We did T-Blaze.
T-Blaze,
Yeah, T-Blaze.
secretary.
T-Blaze.
No, we did it with U-Bit. T-Blaze. Oh.
Feeling you
Da,
deep.
da, 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 da. Some song, yeah. And they were playing. They were having a good airplay in Accra. So the list at
Yo,
all.
it's a tall list.
Yeah.
Hey. Hey. And see, I know a lot of recordings done today that don't sound this good. How many years are we talking about here?
Hey, gosh.
18 years. now.
18 years. And it sounds like it was made today. Yo, man, you know what? See what time reads. I can't even believe that.
Yeah.
It's 54.
Wow.
No, we need to have a part 2 of this. Yeah. Extra 10 minutes. We have to do extra 10 minutes. You know,
Yes. It's a DKB
yeah,
thing.
it's a DKB thing, you know. Right. So, all these guys, you know, that you've actually recorded and worked with. I mean, which of them was very stubborn? You know, I know every producer.
That one's easy. VIP.
VIP, yeah. Oh my God.
What about VIP?
They're all over the place.
The fights that happen in that studio. I mean, God, these guys, they will go physical with each other.
Yeah.
Rush had to throw them out of the studio a number of times. Wow, these guys.
Sometimes they're gonna say like, let's take it outside and do it outside, man. Let's leave the studio. Let's take it
Or
outside.
they'll go and beat themselves up and then come back. They're cool after that.
And record.
Yeah. Someone has a black eye, someone has a bloody nose and all that. They're cool.
But they know, one thing. At that time, they were so angry. They wanted to make it,
Yeah,
and then they made it.
they made it.
Yeah, they made it. With that song we did, the song was all over the place, and they they were like, yeah, they made it. Yeah.
I mean, David, I said that we were going to touch on 17, 1 million. I mean, Don mentioned it, so I just thought that.
Don't slightly exaggerated things.
He said 17.
Slightly.
I saw your phone started buzzing like, yo, so 17.
Yeah, you owe me money, innit?
So how did that happen?
So you know that most people know me for my IT
Yeah,
exploits
that's right.
more than music. So I think music has always been like my passion.
Right.
IT has been my career, if you like. So I started a software business in the UK when I was actually 15 years old, and by the time I was 17, yes, I'd made £1 million, and I was actually offered £2 million from a drug company to buy one of my major software products at the time,
Wow.
which I rejected. Because they actually wanted to buy it and then kill it because it was competing with theirs.
Oh,
You see the thing at a fraction of the price.
Right.
So I was selling mine for I think £5,000 per copy. And they were
Right.
selling theirs for £250,000.
and they wanted to buy it off.
They wanted to buy it off because look, if they sell 10 of them, and this was being sold to all the doctors, the clinics in the UK. You see the thing. So I decided not to sell it off to them, but then I ended up selling about 200-300 copies of it anyway. So I didn't make the 2 million, but I made enough. So I made enough.
Yeah.
So, but it wasn't about the money at the time. The money was rolling in and all that, and I was young. But it wasn't about the money. It was about the passion and what I was doing at the time. Yeah.
Wow. So that when that came through, I mean, how has that actually influenced the journey?
Well, for me, look, my parents we lived a very, very modest life.
Right.
My parents were not rich by any measure. I mean, I grew up on second-hand clothing and so on. My dad was basically what we call an odd jobs man in England, where he was able to do anything. I mean, he could build a house, he could do the electricals, plumbing. He was a tailor, he was a bus driver, he was a soldier. A bit of everything. So he taught us that basically the only way you're going to achieve anything in life is by learning hard and by working hard, because if you don't do it yourself, nobody's going to do it for you. So that's something that I really learned from him. So I mean, even to today, my average day is from here. I'm going back to the studio. I'll be mixing a song. I'll probably close around 12 or 1 a.m. Mm-hmm. Wake up at 4:30, go jogging, go to the gym, then come to hits tomorrow morning and do the whole routine again. You see the thing. So for me, hard work is just become part of who I am. And if I get very restless if I'm sitting around the whole day doing nothing. I get very, very itchy, and I want to feel like I've achieved something every day.
Right. Yeah, it's DKB Studios in the place, in case you just joined us. And 2019, you've got something amazing. There's a Dofufro. Right.
Yes,
Yeah.
the new single.
That's a new single. Featuring Samini.
Yeah.
Man, so how did this come about? I can't wait to drop it.
Well, I've told you that reggae is kind of
in the blood.
It's in the blood.
Yeah.
There's something magical about reggae. It's kind of it works with anything. It's just it cools you down. It can heat you up. It can do everything. So we actually started working with Samini way back over 20 years ago. I think we were actually next door neighbors
Oh,
to Sammy when he
Yes.
was Batman in Dansuman.
Oh,
He was
interesting.
literally the next house. from
Right.
us. So we kind of grew up in the area together. So he featured on KK Fosu's
Suja.
track.
Yeah.
So we have this mutual
Right.
respect and for each other. So when I told him, I wanted to feature him on a song, straight away say, yeah, just send it over to me. And then we started working on it. And you see, the thing about getting a good track is that you don't rush it. You see the thing, that song it took us
you don't have to rush it because Rush is here. I mean,
exactly, he does all the rushing. Yeah. So it took us about 9 months to finish that track.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because we waited till he went to finish his album, he came back.
Yeah,
and,
Untamed.
before,
Sometimes
so,
you have to let it sink in.
Yeah.
You don't just quickly rush into it because
yeah.
then it shows in the final product. See, if you listen to his verse, the way it's delivered, it is so different to anything that you've heard Samini do before.
Right.
The attitude is different to his normal style, but it works so well with my voice in the track as well. You see the thing, the contrast. So I mean, it's a song that I actually can play that song time and put it on repeat, and I don't get bored with it.
right.
Which is a rare thing because I usually get bored with the songs listening, that I've worked on. But this
Yeah.
is one track that I can listen to 20 times in a row,
Man.
and I still get excited by it.
I know you can't wait to hear this song. Let's get into it. Brand new music, Odofofro. It's a DKB team.
It's a DKB thing. I wanna take you on a cruise on the Caribbean seas. I wanna take you up, down, where the richer folks set the tone with the pound. I wanna take you on a tour and show you what the world has in store. I wanna just be here for you, so you will be there for me. You and me don't stop from jail. Girl, you come in and you rock my world. Babes, you touch me and you burst a spell. Watch Remy, Odoroko, Sronkubi. Why dream, mommy, danda. Mommy, tonko, mommy, yama, bon, crow, why I do. Watch me, I go so hard. Jimmy, what? Yana, open up your bury me on to something time. Baby, watch me, I go so.
Oh baby girl, you know say Rasta man love you. Top of the list, I put nothing above you. You are the queen, I man done already told you. Looking at me eyes, baby, come make me hold you. Among the lot, you give me the tightest squeeze. When you need me, Harley Davidson bike at speed. I love you, baby, I see a side. You make me wanna go down on one knee and say marry me. Say me who da kura na makuma. Say me who one day and I'm go. Say me who da kura na mi sugo. My baby.
Just tell me what you want and I'm bound to get it for you. Diamonds and pearls, Ekaline, got it for you. Fast cars, training clothes, got it for you. Multiple trips up, I brought, got it for you. Just tell me what you're dreaming and I'm bound to make all your dreams come true. Then you can call me Mr. Dreammaker, stuck on you like super glue. Oh baby, 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 yeah. Watch Remy, Odoroko, Sronkubi. Remy, Odoroko, Sronkubi. Mommy, danda. Mommy, tonko, mommy, yama, bon, crow, why I do. Watch me, I go so hard. Jimmy, open up and bury me all to something time. Baby, watch me, I go so. Even if you're cool about me, cool, love upon the sun, I'm gonna move when I'm in home, yeah, to correct the rap. Dream, mommy, danda. Mommy, don't call, mommy, yeah, my boy.
Man. This is Golden, David Bolton, Samini, and Pricky's voice is on now.
Yeah, Pricky's in there. Pricky actually wrote this song.
Oh, he wrote the song.
Yeah.
Man, this is really beautiful. So
Big up, Mr. Yardi.
Mr. Yade, hey, Pricky Yade. Yo, we have tons of messages, and of course we can't do it all. This one's from George Jorman, all the way from Germany, says, I'm one of your biggest fans. Keep on the good work and remain blessed. Peace.
Wow. Thank
And
you.
hey, Steve Ezekiel Tete actually hits us up.
Steve Bunting.
Yeah,
Steve
man,
Bunting.
yeah, man. Says turn it up, legendary. And Joseph William Edu says hi, Mercury Nice Old High Life DKB do all. Emmanuel Nyamiche Mensah says it's a DKB team, legends in the building. And Young Money says always listen to your submission, David Bolton and Rush on the Daybreak hits every morning, lovely guys.
Thank you.
Dade Peter says they are really legends. And Musa Haran says legends. I mean, the word legends is actually ringing through all the messages that are coming through. And Miss Lillian Dancer says big up DKB. And I mean, that's we can't do more because we are pressed for time. I actually wish we could do a lot more. A lot of messages are coming through, and that's a blessing.
Let's do it again.
Let's do it again. We must do a part 2 of this. We must, because we've not even done like
Scratch the surface.
Yeah. There's a lot
30%
to talk
of it. There's so much to talk about, and I know a lot of wannabe sound engineers, music producers, even once in the business already, in tune and taking note. Right. So before we end the part 1, I call this the part 1. What would you want to say to people out there who actually want to start? There's someone out there who wants to start, they're scared to start, or maybe they tried and things did not work out. What message do you have for them?
Well, first, my message goes out to people like us who
Right.
have made an impact in the industry, right? It is our responsibility to impart the experience and knowledge that we have to the younger generation, right? So for me, if somebody approaches me, I will do everything I can to try and encourage them and to, give my experience. If I have the time to teach them, I'll do that. You see the thing. So it's important that the older generation. It can be difficult, when you get so many people asking you for help, but at least encourage everybody, because we were also encouraged. I remember when Mensa was he was about 17, 18?
17.
And he used to bug me in the studio. And I was so aggravated by him because he would bug and ask questions. What does this do? How do you do this? And look where he is now.
Yeah.
You sort of think. So at least I'm proud that I played a small part in Mensa's development to get to where he is now. There's another sound engineer that we inspired, who is now 7 times platinum in the States. He's a producer for Future.
Wow.
And some other, hip hop artists.
That's big.
And this is somebody that we encouraged and showed him the ropes. So it feels good to know that people can come to you, and then they can actually get further than you have. So the other thing is, don't give up. It takes time. You see the thing.
Don't give up. It takes time.
Yeah. And so sometimes you can hear of people that have been in the industry for years. It just takes one break, just being at the right place at the right time. You get the right artist, the right track. You see the thing. And it just blows. And your career is made forever after that. You see the thing. So the moment you give up, you fail. That's the only certain thing. If you keep on at it, and don't forget, every single song you work on, you are improving. You're learning from experience.
It doesn't matter if it doesn't become a hit.
Exactly. Look, the songs that you've played, maybe we have, let's say, 50 hits. We did maybe 500 songs or 600 songs. Maybe 200 of them were never even released. You see the thing.
Yeah.
So
they ended up in bedrooms.
Yeah,
and
exactly. Yeah. So it's only a very small percentage of what you do that will even be heard by the public. So, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't keep on, producing. Every week, I try and make at least 3 or 4 songs, which it becomes like your bank
Yeah.
You see the thing, your account, so that you can always go there, reach for this beat. Okay, this will match this guy's voice or this girl's voice. You see
You
the thing,
pick
and then
it
you
and-
pick it, and then you have it there.
Right. Thanks very much, David and Rush. Rush us with some
Oh,
words.
David has actually said all, but
Right.
I just want to give some shout out to
Okay.
the DKB crew. You know, DKB is an umbrella of a team. You
That's
know.
right.
So I just want to give shout out to all of them for the good work they've done and the support they have, and a GKB fan, plus all the fans out there who are supporting David Bolton's new song Odofufro, and those who help doing the making of the song and everyone.
And hey,
that's
watch
it.
out for the video.
Yes, this Saturday.
This Saturday.
Yep, on the red carpet, 3:30. Very first time the video is being premiered, and
Yeah.
it's something very different. It's not your usual music video. This is really telling a story.
Charlie.
Top notch.
Top notch.
It's a
Can't wait for
DKB
that.
team.
It's a DKB team. Thank you very
Well, I
much.
mean, Alvin.
Thanks very much for coming through. It's been an amazing time. David and Rush, thanks for joining us right here. And thanks
for
for
having us.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for
sharing
Thank
so
you.
much knowledge and for inspiring our youth. It's been the Cruise Control, the biggest drive time show on radio. My name is Mercury Quay, the 10-Up General. Thanks to the Donor for Dons for coming through on You Say Waiting, to my Gizo. On What's Up in Town, coming up next is going to be Dr. Pounds. He's got the Hits Gallery show coming right here on 103.9 FM.